one of our next podcast episodes, Stan and I were talking about that we do without a guest before the end of the year. We were going to talk about, kind of a recap of our 2019 and what we're looking forward to and planning for 2020 in our lives. And I was thinking about, okay, what do I, looking back on 2019, what is, my most important lessons? And that word gratitude has been the biggest shift in my, direction in life, honestly. It's, it kind of started with my wife. I don't know if it was an intentional like New Year's resolution or if it was just something she was going to do and run with it. But she, she's a big Facebooker, and she has posted every day this year, starting from January 1st till now, has posted pictures and, three things that she's grateful for that day and what that day made her think of. And, I saw a big change in her attitude and just, kind of what she's getting out of her life in this year, where nothing much else has changed in her life other than her perspective, and so, after seeing a very obvious change in her demeanor, like I started being like, well, I wasn't going to post something every day, but I was like, we started on our Discord server, our social media thing for this, channel and podcasts and stuff, a channel on there where everyone gets on and posts what they're grateful for. And, I don't do it every day, but I definitely, when I'm in a moment of gratitude, like that's the first thing I do is go on there and be like, man, I'm really grateful for this, and not doing it every day, but just making sure I like hold myself accountable to like capture this moment and share it with others that care about, how our community is feeling. It's just been a steady climb towards the positive side of life from that point. It's like the key is to not just take the good things in life for granted, but to stop and think that, wow, I'm really lucky this is happening to me right now, because nothing is guaranteed, and it's like the moment the universe senses you're appreciative of that, it gives you more, and it's, I know for a lot of people that maybe are depressed, and I know I can get this way too, where you're like, there's fucking nothing to be grateful for. Like you're down on yourself thinking you're not worth anything or whatever. It sounds stupid to be like, well, be grateful for the good things. But it's one of the biggest things in this year that I've noticed. And I have to carry that into my life going forward, yeah, gratitude is just, it's almost a law of physics, it feels like,
Yeah, I think you're right. Like, so that's the thing. Like, that's what I got. I'm like, wow, how could I ever not be grateful? Like, and I know what you're saying. Like, sometimes we just have these crappy days and it's just hard to find things to be grateful for. But I've experienced the same exact thing. The more grateful I am in life, and I have a gratitude jar in my kitchen, and I love writing three things. I kind of do this 3 thing too, and I put it in the jar and I fill it up with the little sticky notes. Those, those colored, I don't know what you call them, but things that have the little sticky edge. Post-it notes, yeah. So like you fill it up with different colored ones, and it's just really beautiful to look at this jar full of great gratitudes. And yeah, I feel like that's life changing, and so that came in so strong. Like, just be grateful every day.
Yeah, it's and I've talked to a lot of people that have had that message, whether on mushrooms or other psychedelics, and I haven't. That's just been a message I've gotten through life. Like I've never. Well, I've been grateful of like this moment. I've felt like this moment, this now is the only. On psychedelics, I've been like, this right now is the best thing that's ever happened. And like, and I've had these moments where I'm like, okay, so every time I've been depressed, I've been worried about things that already happened that I can't change. And every time I've been anxious, I'm worrying about things that may or may not happen, and I can control if they happen or not. But whether I've been depressed or anxious, I have not been living in the now. And that's what I like about mushrooms and psychedelics, whether they teach you lessons or not. They slow time down to a crawl and let you just exist right now, and it's the same thing that and we talk about this all the time, that there's many paths to the same realizations, right? And it like the same thing that people are trying to achieve with meditation or yoga or anything like that is to just be grounded in the now. And that's what mushrooms do. And psych, and acid and stuff like that. That's what they do, is like, just they grab you and they're like, you are existing right now.
Because all you can do is be right here, right now, because there's nowhere else to go.
there's nowhere else. And that's where gratitude comes into play so much, is like, now is amazing if you let it be, right? And you have to be grateful for that, because there is no guarantee that anything would work out to lead you up to now. Anything could have happened at any second for now not to happen. And you have to be grateful for that. There is someone every second who doesn't get to have now. And you have now, and to be aware of that and to be grateful of that. The universe, that's the key to pleasing the universe, pleasing God, pleasing whatever you want to call it. It enjoys you enjoying now. And that's what mushrooms do for me. Unfortunately, I don't let go enough. And this is something I've been trying to realize, and I want to get more into with you, because you seem to have very blissful experiences, to where I tend to have with a psychedelic a very tough time. And I think I drag too much of my dumb bullshit from life, whether it's money or career or self-doubt or whatever. I don't let go enough in psychedelic experiences, and I drag that in and let it corrupt my now. And I that's one thing I wanted to ask you, and we can continue telling your 5-gram story if you're not finished too. But have you, or in that experience, do you experience any anxious, scary moments with mushrooms, or did you on your 5-gram experience?
I didn't. And I think I said this to you in the video that I sent you, which is funny because I sent that while I was driving, flying down the road at 80 miles an hour. I was recording myself. But I feel like, so I live my life, my company's called Pure Joy, Pure Joy Planet. And I live my life in a way where I just try my best to be present. I meditate every day. I do other biohacks like cold plunges, and that clears your energy field. It almost cleanses your aura in a way, because your whole nervous system gets reset while you sit in this pool of freezing water. And I exercise regularly, which I think that just releases stress. And I know a lot of people say that, but it becomes a thing where it gives you euphoria. But I also try in my life, and I've been working on myself for, I would say, at least the last 20 years. I'm going to be 55 in 2020, of really being super present and conscious. And of course, I'm not always, but really aware of the language I speak and how I speak of others, and how I'm being in life. And even down to the thing of not arguing with people, trying to have really good, having people in my life that are willing to communicate clearly. And it's not always possible, because we run into all kinds of people. But I think all those things help me, because and I think I told you this in the video, that when I went into that day, I felt like I was clean. I didn't have any people in my life that I've been arguing with, or there was no bad thoughts or feelings. And I also think my diet is helpful, because I eat a super clean diet, and we can talk about that. But all those things help. And I don't really experience anxiety in my life, and I don't really experience a lot of negative things, thoughts. Of course, I have stressful times, but I feel like it's easier for them to come and go. And it wasn't always that way. And I think I've just been working on myself a lot.